It's time now for the VIC Video News Crime Watch for the week ending September 30th, 2022. We begin in Trinidad and Tobago, where once again a missing woman has been found dead. About a week after Marissa Edwards, administrative clerk at the University of the West Indies, was reported missing, her decomposing body was discovered on Monday evening in a drain in Couva. The 39-year-old woman was last seen on Sunday, September 18th, when she left her home with her boyfriend, Simeon Rupchand. Rupchand, who was found hanging from a tree on September 24th, is believed to have murdered his partner before taking his own life. Edwards' sister told Guardian Media that the deceased woman had plans to leave her 51-year-old boyfriend, but said that she never expected her to come to harm, as Rupchand had never displayed violent tendencies. Edwards' 16-year-old daughter said that Rupchand visited the house at about 6 a.m. the morning after her mother went missing. He dropped the girl off at school as accustomed and even went to Edwards' workplace, ostensibly in search of the missing woman. He reportedly told relatives that he'd dropped off his girlfriend the day before on the highway near a track which led to her home. However, after accessing Edwards' GPS records in her phone, the woman's relatives began to question Rupchand's narrative. He subsequently circulated a message informing of plans to end his life as he accused the missing woman's family of ruining him. His car was found later that day near where his body was subsequently discovered. One Jamaican family has been plunged into incalculable grief after a homeowner shot his teenage son to death. On Wednesday, around 3:15 a.m., the parents of Raheem Shaw were reportedly awoken by first the sound of the grill at the front of the house being opened and then the front door. Shaw's father, a licensed firearm holder, is said to have believed someone was breaking in and fired 3 shots through the glass of the front door. Rather than a bandit, he hit his 15-year-old son. A neighbor recalled looking out at the sound of the gunshots to see the father sling his son over his shoulder before placing him in the family car and speeding away. The teen was rushed to the Spanish Town Hospital but succumbed to his injuries. The father has reportedly retained an attorney following his son's death. Meanwhile, in St. Vincent, a 26-year-old man will spend a total of 21 years and 4 months behind bars for the murder of a woman who he wrongly thought infected him with a sexually transmitted disease. In 2018, the then 22-year-old Desron Roberts was engaged in a sexual relationship with 30-year-old Rhodesia Rochelle Bailey, who he usually visited at her home. Eyewitness News in St. Vincent reports that in July of that year, Bailey told Roberts that she had tested positive for HIV. He reportedly visited a doctor who counseled him to get tested and also advised he receive post-exposure treatment. Roberts reportedly started medication but did not complete the treatment because of what he deemed to be unacceptable side effects. He reportedly suffered depressive episodes and considered suicide as well, but did not speak to anyone about his circumstances. Meanwhile, his sexual relationship with Bailey continued until one day in October 2018, he came to the woman's house armed with a knife and informed her of his intention to end her life. He reportedly tried to strangle Bailey at first, but then switched to the weapon he had brought and stabbed her multiple times. Bailey was able to escape his clutches and run from the house, but collapsed a short distance away, and her body was discovered by an area resident the next morning. Roberts was arrested days later and reportedly confessed during an electronically recorded interview before a justice of the peace. However, at his arraignment in October 2020, he pleaded not guilty to the murder of Rhodesia Rochelle Bailey. In June of this year, Roberts changed his plea to guilty. During Roberts' sentencing, Justice Brian Cottle took into consideration the fact that Roberts took the weapon to the crime scene and informed the victim of his intention to kill her. Roberts could have faced a life sentence. However, because of his belated guilty plea, youthful age, and previously clean record, the judge calculated a starting sentence of 40 years. The judge also found Roberts had no coping skills and social support to deal with his HIV status and the accompanying stigma. While lamenting the fact that Roberts saw violence as the only way out, Justice Cottle said he did not believe Roberts would be a repeat offender. All of these factors led to a 1/3 discount on his sentence being granted, resulting in a final calculation of 21 years and 4 months in jail. In Guyana, a former soldier walked free of a rape charge after a judge agreed with a no-case submission by his attorney. Winston Haynes stood accused of raping a 21-year-old woman in January 2017 at an army base camp. He has always denied the allegations against him, but following the charges, Haynes and 3 other Guyana Defense Force soldiers were dismissed for, quote, bringing the law enforcement body into disrepute. An inquiry by the army found that Haynes perpetrated the rape while the remaining 3 did nothing to stop it. However, in court, Justice Simon Morris Ramlal found that there was not enough evidence presented to make a case against Haynes and thus ordered the jury to return a not guilty verdict.